In downtown New York, Parker Industries is in full-blown crisis mode. Right before going live with a massive press conference, Peter Parker just spilled his Go Get 'em Black smart drink over his shirts. Thinking quickly, Peter asks one of his assistants to give him all the ties he was supposed to choose between. Once he establishes another member of his team can French braid, he's finally got a plan. Stepping out in front of the assembled press, Peter delivers his whole WebWare 2.0 presentation as smoothly as expected. But then the first reporter asks a question, and it's nothing to do with his fancy watch. What's with the tie? Peter tries to argue that it's a new fashion statement straight from Milan. A mascot. You take a bunch of ties and put them together. His assistant, Anna Maria Marconi, can barely stop herself from laughing. The audience is just as skeptical, but Peter runs with it, grinning and trying to keep the focus on his company's new tech rather than his weird fashion choice. Deadpool, meanwhile, is sharing a bed with his wife, the demon Shikla. The merc with a mouth's been investigating Peter Parker since Wade's just been hired to assassinate the CEO. Deadpool is so worried about this, he's barely paying attention to his wife, even wearing his mask to bed. Shikla wants him to just get the assassination over with so he can get back to focusing on her, but Deadpool's still concerned. He's an Avenger now. He's not supposed to kill people without a good reason. He shows Shikla his laptop. The succubus queen is horrified. Deadpool's client sent him evidence of Parker's evil deeds. Apparently, these include gruesome murder via his company. Shikla's already down to damn Peter to hell over this. Deadpool isn't entirely opposed. This sure seems like a good reason. Still, he's not just going to assume this evidence is true. He's been an assassin for a long time. He knows clients can lie. And the merc with a mouth really likes Spider-Man, who supposedly works for Parker. If Peter was dirty, Deadpool thinks Spidey could help take him down. But he doesn't want to talk to Spider-Man about killing his employer. Spidey's an idealist. Wade doesn't want to shatter his friend's image of perfect Peter Parker. Shikla has a simple suggestion to sort this out though. Wade just needs to confirm this evidence for himself. If Peter's innocent, Wade can go after his employer. If Parker's guilty, Deadpool can shoot him dead with a clear conscience. Peter's currently swinging through downtown New York as Spider-Man, still on edge about that whole mascot incident. He's not having a good time with his new job as a CEO, annoyed at how easy Tony always made it look. At this point, it's so bad that being Spider-Man's actually something he's enjoying for once. It's a chance for a break. As he's thinking that, Miles makes a call to Peter on his fancy WebWare watch. There's a mugging spree going on he could use some help with. Mugging is a bit of a simplification. Deadpool has in fact been hugging two old businessmen for 20 minutes, refusing to let them go. It probably wasn't even originally a trick. He's got a free hug sign and everything. The merc with a mouth's strange performance art display has attracted a crowd of curious onlookers, including Miles. Deadpool insists he wants the real Spider-Man, writing Miles off as just a clone. I am not a clone. That's what clones always say. Before Miles can prove his point, a line of webbing hits Deadpool from behind. The original Spider-Man hoists him up, not happy to have to deal with Wade's kookiness. Deadpool tries to insist he just wanted to talk to Spidey. Peter asks him to explain. Wade takes a second to keep bad-mouthing Miles as Spider-Clone Jr. For that, Peter leaves Deadpool with just 30 seconds to try and say whatever he was after. After a little talk about the all-female Avengers team and obscure character Dupe, Wade asks if Peter Parker is an evil genius or just an evil villain. After calling Peter evil, both Spider-Man punch Wade hard, right in the face. All of a sudden though, the Spider-Men are experiencing something completely different. A whole army of green goblins are attacking the city. Peter's weirded out by this. It shouldn't be real. He's already defeated this army of goblins. Still, all his physical senses are telling him this is really happening. He and Miles both wrestle with the goblins, while Deadpool continues to plummet towards the earth. Wade lands on a golden statue of Apollo, its arm impaling him in the guts with a gut-twisting sklutch sound. Thankfully, he's got a healing factor. That won't keep him down for long. In the air, Miles is starting to panic, insisting that they have to get away from the endless supply of green goblins. Peter tells him to chill. Something's wrong, but he hasn't figured out what. They need to keep punching until he can work out what to do. But before he can come up with anything, the two Spider-Men hear a very loud new arrival coming their way. Deadpool is driving up the side of a skyscraper in his repainted Spider-Mobile, the Dead Buggy. Here come a Deadpool! Here come a Deadpool! Yeah, he be driving up a wall. You love a Deadpool! You love a Deadpool! He got the coolest whip of all. Deadpool vaults out of his Dead Buggy right at Peter. He's trying to tell him about the Goblins being a mass hallucination. Unfortunately, Wade's not good at making himself clear. Miles and Peter both assume he's just working with the Goblins, and both lay into him, punching Wade back towards the ground. Peter's angry at himself for even thinking Deadpool might have been doing the right thing. You know why I hate you? This is why! You're selfish, stupid, and I can't trust you to have my back. Wade doesn't answer that. Instead, he shoots Peter in Miles' wrists, finally ending the hallucination. The two Spider-Men are briefly stunned as all three fall into the Dead Buggy. Wade saved them, even if they were being jerks to him. Deadpool doesn't push the issue. His focus is on Peter Parker. Wade figured out that the only people who weren't going crazy were the ones not wearing Peter's new webwear watch. Thus, Spidey's boss is responsible for this. He's clearly a supervillain. Spidey tries to assure Deadpool that Peter Parker has nothing to do with this, but Wade isn't willing to listen. He's annoyed at how much Spider-Man, a guy he really admires, trusts Parker. Spidey respects a CEO scumbag over his best bud, Wade Wilson. Spidey tries to apologize for earlier, but Deadpool's not listening. They just need to go tackle the villain responsible for this. Back at Parker Industries, the scientists are panicking about what's been done with their system. Webware was never meant to hurt people. But the one who set this whole hallucination up isn't worried. Mysterio's taken over the complex, planning to try and show people how corrupt Parker Industries really is. If this mass hallucination gets people killed, the corporation's reputation will plummet and everyone will hate them. But before Mysterio can finish off his plan, the Dead Buggy rams right through the wall. They aren't able to hit the brakes until they've hit Mysterio head on, running him over. Following this, Spidey and Deadpool argue about what it means to hit it. Wade's alleged misunderstanding of this led to him choosing to accelerate rather than hitting the brakes. Rather than continue the discussion, Spidey jumps out. He's got to shut down the webware transmission that's driving people crazy. Deadpool should try and find the real Mysterio. They couldn't have won that easily. Wade grumbles about blood on his Dead Buggy, but one insistent yell from Spidey is enough to make him focus. Anna Maria calls down to the lab, wanting to know what's going on. Spidey fills her in before telling Deadpool to get ready for a fight. It can't have been that easy. Wade is busy, however. He's trying to give Mysterio CPR. He's already gotten the villain's helmet off, and the situation isn't looking great. Spidey looks down in horror at the almost dead illusionist, while Deadpool gives Mysterio mouth-to-mouth. He doesn't want this guy to die. A few hours later, the EMTs are taking Mysterio away in a medical helicopter. Spider-Man's impressed by how well that went. They bypassed all of Mysterio's big planned defenses by dropping the car on him. Plus, Wade saved the villain's life. He's serious about not killing. He and Spidey banter briefly about what exactly Mysterio's breath smelled like before Spidey texts Wade his number. It's gotta be an easier way to get a message through than hugging strangers. Deadpool plays it cool, claiming he'll use this to send a bill to Spidey's boss, Peter Parker, for saving his business. Spidey's down for that as long as Wade gives him a good rate. Team up over, Spider-Man swings off. And Deadpool heads into Parker Industries. He hasn't forgotten his assignment to kill Peter, and this is his chance to see if he's really doing all that morally bankrupt stuff Wade's client claimed. Deadpool pushes the door open, and the first thing he sees is a nightmare. A bunch of scientists in face masks and Parker Industry uniforms are in the middle of human testing. They're working on people with their arms and legs amputated. This couldn't look more like an evil science lair if it tried. The guards point guns at Deadpool. Wade mutters a quip about being a health inspector. His heart's not really in it. He's being serious for a change, going through his snark-on instinct until he reaches the part about this lab having unwilling human test subjects. The guards yell that they're going to ignore safety protocols. They need to fire everything they've got at Deadpool to take him down. It won't be enough. If you grow faint at the sight of your own parts hitting the floor, I suggest you shoot yourself in the head immediately. But really, I hope you don't. Even as he starts slaughtering his way through the science team, Wade makes a voice call. After a few seconds, he's got his most recent client on the line, Patient Zero. The mysterious man is sitting in a glass house in the middle of some woodland. Zero's surprised to hear from Wade, wondering if this means the assassin's chosen to accept his request. Once Deadpool confirms he's all in, Zero smiles, just as he planned. For more Spidey content, check out our video on what happens when his family and the Avengers are ripped away from Peter.